Hello and thank you for watching. So today I want to cover what I need to do to resolve why my car won't start, my 2017 Porsche Macan diesel, why it won't start without needing jumper pack at both the back and the front. I've already taken off the fuse, which I believe is bad, and actually that's held within what part they describe here as part 12 on the diagram. This is from the Porsche parts diagram that's available online. The part 12 is listed as being, well, it looks like a Cayenne part from the part number. As you can see, I highlighted it here, 95561120500. It's called switch unit, main battery switch. Now, that from the diagram looked like it was a full part and not just the fuse, because that piece, that 11 and 12 that's shown on the diagram there, is the larger piece that connects to the positive battery terminal. So if I have a look and see what one of these actually is, according to searching for this, obviously found this part. This isn't what I've got on my car. So glad I hadn't bought that in advance, because although it's described as a sort of Porsche pyrotechnic switch, it's not what's actually fitted to the Macan. So not quite sure what's going on there with the part numbers, but anyway, I was able to identify which part I needed. So I'd taken off the fuse here, and we can see the dud one on the right here. If I shake it, you might not be able to hear it, but there is a bit of a rattle from it, whereas if I take the new one, there's no rattle inside. The other way to obviously prove which one's working is if I put a test over it, if that was set properly there, and take the positive. There is no continuity here over this fuse, whereas if I try on the new one, then we should see that testing that there. I don't know if you'll hear the beep as well, the buzzer from this. You can see there's a complete circuit when I put the probe on there. So this obviously is a new good fuse, and I'll look at refitting that to the car. And before I go and fit it to the car, this is worth mentioning the size of the box this actual part came in. I did actually think when my wife went to pick this part up, because I just bought it from a local Audi dealer, that it was maybe the wrong part, maybe the complete part of the positive terminal, but actually turns out they just obviously well wrapped. I found actually when I was researching what to pay, I could pay as little as £10 for one of these from looks to be a sort of Chinese copy. The official Volkswagen Audi part, actually this came in at just over £30. I was able to go and pick that up and ask them some other questions about some other parts which are actually shared between the Macan and I think the Q5. This part, obviously I was able to buy it individually from Audi, but it was not a part that Volkswagen would recognise, even though it's obviously listed as a Volkswagen Audi part. They had said, oh, it's actually a different part number, and the part number they gave actually must have referred to the full terminal, because they were quoting £190 for that. And when I phoned Porsche about it, they didn't recognise the part number at all either. And again, I suspect that's because they're looking to sell the full terminal, which includes this fuse. But there really is no need to replace the whole terminal. The rest of the fuses that are on that, there's little fuse strips on it, they're good. The rest of the terminal is good. I might as well just replace the fuse itself. So I'll go down and refit that. So this is the terminal at the back of the car, the positive terminal that obviously sits in the battery. You see here that of these wires here, if the battery's got charge in it, then actually, and you put a key in the ignition and that, it will turn on all auxiliaries. But the fact that this fuse is missing from here means that the car won't start, because obviously it's trying to connect this main lead here. If you want the car to start, then when this fuse is blown, obviously need power of the battery here, but you also have to connect say a jump box that at the positive and ground, which are held in the engine bay. They can be used for jump starting the car. So now that I've got obviously a fuse, that won't be required, And fortunately, my battery seems to have recovered as well, even though it had just over a 1 volt, 1.7 volts charge in it when the car arrives. So here's my battery, which is connected up to the CTEC charger, which is now showing green, and that suggests that the battery is actually good. It's managed to recover from the 1.7 or so volts. It's showing just between 13 and 14 volts at the moment. So what I tend to do is disconnect that from the charger and stick it back into the car and check with the fuse that all is well, and that should I want to, the car will actually start. There are actually torque specs for these nuts there to say what they should be tightened to. However, fortunately with the marks that were on there, I was able to just line them up. The other thing that's worth mentioning is this little thing that goes on the bottom of the fuse. Just have to be careful with it. You have to lever the yellow piece off carefully, just to lift it up so that the fitting will come out. Otherwise you can break the tabs that are in there. It seems as if you lift the yellow bit up first, then when it popped out, and I'm expecting it now to be able to just pop back in, obviously push the purple bit in first, and then once that's located, then push the yellow back home and it'll clip back over. Okay, so just for completeness, this is just under the bonnet here. So at the back there, where that plastic cover's moved, that's the positive terminal, and just in front, that is the ground that you can see there, that piece sticking out, and that's where you can jump start the car if required. So the car started and moved, as evidenced by it being in a sort of different part of the garage. I didn't record that because I really wanted to leave the engine running for as little time as possible. I'll probably just disconnect the battery now because of the other work I've got to do, like removing airbags and that. So I don't really have cause to be moving it. So I'll just disconnect that. Right, cheers. Thank you. Bye bye.